class is going to be on insomnia, sleep disorders, issues with sleep, with getting enough sleep. And in my research this week, I came across some really good info and some stuff I hadn't really even thought about. But let's just first let's go ahead and make sure that we're all clear on what insomnia is and what actual sleep disorders are. Difficulty falling asleep, interrupted sleep, waking up early, a light sleep, poor quality of sleep when you're not refreshed after you sleep. Those are all considered insomnia. So it's not just the person that's laying awake with their eyes open all night long. It's any of these issues are considered insomnia. And not getting a good night's sleep can bring on, and I'm the info I'm going over right now is on the front of the one handout. It can actually, as we know, it can elevate your blood pressure because your body is stressed. Whenever you get the good sleep, your body actually refreshes itself. The cells are refreshed, and your mind and your nerves are refreshed, and there's just a lot that happens in a good night's sleep that you're not going to get if you're not resting well. So, Dr. Jennings, which was the video that is on there that you can click on afterwards. I went through his video today and watched it, kind of listened to it in the background. But he did make the point that a normal sleep cycle is about 90 minutes. So whenever you start in and then you go into the REM, and then whenever you end that REM sleep, you will wake up, turn over, shift. You're usually not conscious to know that you did it. But if your bladder's full or something like that, you might then get up, go to the bathroom, void, come back to bed. But if you are just waking up at the end of the REM sleep, you're about every 9 minutes you go through a REM cycle. And you will always, and it's usually maybe 5-10 seconds or something like that, where you just kind of come around and you'll turn over in the bed or something. But when they have, if they were recording you at night, you would sleep at about every 90 minutes, you're going to wake up for just a moment and then settle yourself again. And that is a good sleep cycle. So if you are some of our men with prostate issues and things like that, where they're getting up all night to pee, and even some of us women when we get older and we pee too much because we drink too much before bed, as long as, yeah, don't laugh, as long as you're just kind of waking up at the end of the REM sleep, you will find yourself refreshed in the morning. And the fact that you were up 3 or 4 times during the night, if it was at the end of that and not interrupting the REM, Dr. Jennings said that you'll still be refreshed and you're still getting a good night's sleep. So what can we do to clear up issues with sleeping? How can we get a good night's sleep? I guess we can start with mild and work up to more intense things to do. All right, something's come up in your life, you're just a little stressed, you're just something has changed, and you're not sleeping well. It's throwing your sleep pattern off, and there is a name for that, but I cannot pronounce it. Arcadian rhythm or something along that line.
Okay.
Yes.
And yeah, if that rhythm gets thrown off, that can upset your sleep patterns and upset your people who work different shifts. They'll be working the PM shift and then they'll do the graveyard shift and doing different shift work, or young mothers with children that are waking them up at night at all hours of the night. The mild thing that you can do, let's just start with the simple stuff. A good okay, you're not sleeping good, so first let's start with the environment. You want to get all the electronic equipment out of your bedroom. The electronical equipment is going to be throwing off static electricity through the night. So the room that you sleep in should not have computers, TVs, anything like this in it.
Okay.
Your bedroom should not have electronic equipment in it. So get all that out of the room. I've even had people that had to take clocks out and just get old wind-up clocks. I think that's a little bit much, but if that bothers you, then get that out of there too. All right. Then you want to stop eating around 5 or 6 in the evening so that your digestion and your autonomic system is finished by bedtime. If you have low blood sugar issues, Dr. Christopher mentions that those with low blood sugar issues, a piece of fruit just before bedtime is not uncalled for, and that can settle you so that your blood sugar is not so bad, or tea with a little bit of honey. I find that the pancreas support formula really supports blood sugar. And the herbs in this formula, a cup of this tea, if you have blood sugar issues and have a hard time going that long on a fast, try the pancreas support tea just before bedtime, and that will keep your digestion from having to do anything so that your whole body can rest and can shut down. So stopping eating, you can still drink, you can still, have a glass of superfood or something like that, a glass of juice. It's just chewing and swallowing food where it's got to go through the digestion in your stomach and all that. You don't want that to be going on when you're trying to shut down and go to sleep. All right. So the electronical equipment, the food, then we need to make sure that we're grounded. These are just the basic things. The grounding, we're absorbing static electricity all day long from all the electronical equipment that's around us throughout the day. So it's a good idea to spend 10, 15 minutes walking barefoot outside. So walking barefoot outside for 15 minutes each day, it's going to get you grounded. You need to be grounded to get that. The earth is the best grounding rod that we have. So walking barefoot outside is going to allow we need to have electricity flowing through us constantly. And when you're wearing rubber-soled shoes and all of this, it gets trapped up in us. We run on electricity. And Dr. Christopher talks about the electricity going in through the top of us and then just cycling through us, and it needs to be able to move out. If it gets trapped up in us, then we're full of that agitation. It's agitating, and the body cannot shut down and go to sleep. So make sure, because most of us were wearing rubber-soled shoes. We are not grounding well. We need to actually go out and make sure that we're just keep the flow going. Everything about health and life is about circulation and flowing. Those are the basic view. Then let's look at the herbal supports that are there. What we have are Nervine Herbs. The Nervine Herbs help calm the system down, calm the will work on different things. Some are very restorative in what they do. Skullcap is a very restorative herb. It will help calm you down, but it also feeds the central nervous system. It's food, and formulas that have the skullcap in it, you wake up feeling very refreshed after you use the skullcap. I find the General Nervine formula is one of my favorites that we use. It was one of Dr. Shook's, and he initially had it out there for hysterics. It was his formula for hysterics, and you can use this formula during a time of crisis in low doses during the day. Like we're talking 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon throughout the day when there's a crisis going on, and you just plain won't fall apart. It just keeps you grounded, and You can see that precipice in the distance, but you're not going over it. It's very restorative and will help. And then at night you can take 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of it, whatever it takes to get you knocked out. And when you wake up in the morning, you feel very restored. This is a really good formula for when the brain just won't quit talking to you. I like this one. When I get insomnia, sometimes it'll be that there's just so much going on in my head, and it's like a recording that just won't be quiet and won't shut down, let me go to sleep. And this formula tends to turn that recorder off and just let me drift off to sleep. It's very good on that one. One of our other sleep, the one that we call Sleep Aid, this one I like. It doesn't necessarily put me out, but it is really good for the restless legs when you're kind of twitchy feeling and all of that. I've always had issues with calcium absorption because of kidney issues. And so I've had a hard time taking any calcium and not had as much as I've needed over the time. I now have ways to get it down, but I still end up with restless legs from time to time. And I can take a teaspoon of the Sleep Aid, and in less than 10 minutes, I'm sitting comfortable in my body. The jumpy feeling in my legs and all that has gone, but I'm not necessarily sleepy. But when I'm ready to go to sleep, I can fall asleep, and I sleep really well after I've taken it. So it does aid on that, but it's not the JV makes you about 15, 20 minutes and kind of crawling off bed to fall asleep. Now, the other one that we make, we call that Insomnia. And I don't have a lot of experience with that particular formula, but it is one of Dr. Christopher's formulas. And we do have people who say that is their favorite. So my suggestion is that you, if you're looking for an aid, a Nervine aid, that you would try and just see which ones suit you best. And in the material, you will see that there are other combinations and other combos that he suggests in here for sleeping issues. I do not make them all, but getting the herbs is not difficult. He's got skullcap with an infusion, just a warm skullcap infusion to use, and that would be very restorative. And then he has using the hops and the just using hops by itself. So he has skullcap and hops as infusions on their own. So these are the herbal supports, and there is one other support that is really, really valuable, and we call it our nerve food combination. This one just feeds the nerves when the nerves are stressed and they're not getting the nutrients that they need. They cannot shut down. And the nerve food combination just helps everything shut down, just calms you down, and it would be a combination of the other sleep aids. Luckily, right now, I cannot find the Lady Slipper herb anywhere, so that one is currently unavailable through us. And that's a very difficult herb to keep in stock and to find, and this is the first time in over 10 years I haven't been able to produce that, but I just cannot find Lady Slipper anywhere. So when I have that one back, it'll be in the cart again. But that is a huge aid for calming the system. So those are just, if your rhythms are off and if you're just some changes, some stresses have come in, just go for the sleep aid herbs and see what helps and what will do. And then, of course, You do not want to be eating sugar or processed foods. Those actually, when your body has to neutralize the waste from the sugar, it's so toxic that your body has to pull calcium from the nerve sheath to neutralize that acidity in the junk food. And when you do that, you are fraying your nerves. The nerve sheath becomes thinner and thinner, and there's actually electricity running through your body. And when you lose the nerve sheath, because the calcium is being depleted from them, so they become less and less able to contain the electricity that's running through them, you start sparking and spiking, and it just short circuits you. And that's putting it very mildly, but that is where you start getting a lot of the social anxiety disorders and things like this coming on when somebody is so completely, their nervous system is so stressed and their food program is so poor that the nerve sheaths are just toast, and they're just not able to process they're not able to channel the electricity correctly, and they're shorting out. And read he really goes into it in the Insomnia info sheet and the nerve info sheet. Dr. Christopher gets very specific about what happens when the nerve sheaths are depleted like that. So your food program is very important, that you do not eat junk food. It's just really not good for you. Of course, caffeine, tea, chocolate, those things have stimulants in them, which you do not need. You need to leave the caffeine and the teas and all that alone. But setting all that aside now, let's talk about the insomniac, the person who just cannot sleep. A little bit of sleep aid or whatever is not supporting them. It's not enough. What is happening is your toxicity. The toxicity in the body can agitate until you just can't go to sleep because of toxins. When your system is really toxic, it can prevent you from being able to shut down and go to sleep. So for the real serious sleep issues, we need to do the full detox. We're talking about the bowel cleansing, liver flushing, the whole cleansing of the body. And I have actually worked with a woman who was she just couldn't sleep. I mean, she was an insomniac. And once she started doing her liver flushing, she started sleeping. It wasn't just all at once. You know, it wasn't like, you know, just magically she did a liver flush and now she's sleeping through the night. It was, she got one night sleep. You know, she slept through the night one night and thought that was great after she did one liver flush and on her week of liver flushing. And then she did more liver flushes and she continued to cleanse and she started sleeping more and more and more. And so as her body was cleaning out and getting rid of the toxins, she was able to sleep. And I have seen this in myself when I do the ELF, the emergency liver flushes, the ELF. The night I do them and the night afterwards, for me, because I don't tend to get nauseated so bad or anything from them, but I will sleep really well. And it will be good for like maybe a week and a half, and then I'll start having my restless nights again. And that is just, I know it's just toxicities and stress and everything that comes around, but the liver flushing really makes a difference on, and just getting the toxins out of your body are very important for those who are just not sleeping. If you are seriously not sleeping, you really need to do a good detoxing program and stick with it. I mean, get the junk out of your body, get the junk out of your life, get the people out of your life that are toxic. I mean, all of this stuff. You have to clean house every It's not just a matter of taking a supplement or a cup of tea or something. It is a matter of seriously cleaning your life out of all the junk that's in it everywhere. It comes down to toxic people also need to go. We cannot have the toxic people in our life either. Okay, the other another issue that definitely goes in here is menopause pregnancy. The hormonal shifts will cause insomnia. Perimenopause and menopause bring on insomnia like you would not believe. When I've been through it now for about 10 years since my last cycle, and I remember going through menopause and just laying there at night and watching the clock turn over every single hour, and just wondering if I was ever going to get some good sleep again. It was just so annoying. It's the hormonal shift. And one night it was snowing outside and I was just so tired and I wasn't falling asleep. I put the Afghan over my shoulders, went outside, kicked the snow off the ground, stood there on the ground barefooted for 10, 15 minutes, and then came back in and fell asleep. Now, I don't know if it was the hydrotherapy or if it was the getting grounded that worked, but I did that during the summertime, and it's just getting myself talked into actually getting up and walking outside in the middle of the night, even in the summertime. You gotta get yourself to do that. But it's better if you get yourself grounded during the day, so you don't have to get up in the middle of the night and do it. But for me, grounding really, really worked. If walking around outside barefooted, I would use the herbal supports and all that, but it was getting grounded that would really allow me to shut down during menopause. And right after a child is born, when you're having that serious hormonal shift, you can also experience insomnia at any time that you're having serious hormonal shifts. Insomnia can be an issue. So you want to get your hormones balanced. And quite often, a good liver flush is going to be like hitting the restart button on your hormones. It just clears out all the waste and lets everything starting to flow correctly again. So a good liver flush is also good. And then, of course, using the female formula and the other formulas that support female. Okay, any questions on anything we've said so far?
May I make a
I
comment?
have a, okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Faith. I'd like to make a comment. There is a product that is called Earthing, and they have they have sheets, bed sheets, pads that you can purchase and put on your bed. They have wraps you can put around your shoulders, and essentially there's a cord that goes into your electrical plug into the grounding portion, that little hole in the electrical plug in the wall. And so I purchased a bed pad, and I've been using that for quite a while, but they have some interesting products that are available, and they're proven. And it addresses this issue about grounding and about static electricity. And they do have a website if anybody's interested in looking, because they have some really good stuff. And when it's like a blizzard outside, who in the heck wants to go stand out in the snow in the middle of the night? So this is something that is every night, get in bed and bearskin contact on the pad in my bed, and I put my feet flat on it as well while I'm lying down. I just make sure I take off my pajama bottoms and have my legs in contact with it, and I sleep fine. And this is quite a contrast, because I was going through so much emotional stuff like you were describing, with round and around and around and beating myself up. So that's gone now, and it's been a process.
That was the other point. All right, one of the things that I have found that works really well when your system is just really restless and twitchy and you just can't get to sleep. I have done this repeatedly, and it works really, really well. I will take and do arm exercises, just lifting my arms up and out and up. I will just continue to work my arm muscles and my upper body muscles until I get the burn in my shoulder and I can't raise my arms one more time. And what this does is this will just, once you get to the burn, you have worked your muscles to where they are burning and you just cannot raise them one more time. It just goes through, and the backlash from that is that it just relaxes your whole body. It takes the restlessness away from everywhere. I have got up in the middle of the night when my body was just so restless and I could not relax. And I have just sat in my chair and just done the arm exercises out and up and out and, you know, just whatever, just keeping them moving until I just couldn't move them one more time. And you just, your shoulders, you will get the burn that will come on in your shoulders, and then you'll get to the place where you just cannot do it one more time. And when you lean back, you'll find that your whole body has just relaxed. All the tension, all that jitteriness is gone. And I've never done it with leg exercises or anything like that. It probably might work if you're laying there and you just don't want to get up and you move your arms. I don't know, but for me, sitting in the chair and just exercising until I get that burn across my shoulders will just calm my whole body down and just take all that restless energy away. I would strongly suggest just a really good workout before bed, and then a nice warm bath, and just get yourself worked out and calmed down, and then your system will be more ready to just relax and calm down. Any comments or questions or experience with anyone else that's done that kind of work?
Yoga. Yoga before bed,
Yeah.
always.
Yes, yoga is very good for those who know how to do it. It's definitely a helpful one.
Well, I've been doing it since I was 15, intermittently through my life.
Okay.
Hi.
All right. Yes.
Yes, I find that just stretching, you can do the stretching too. Any type of stretchings help to relax the body.
Yes. Stretching is good. When you get that twitchiness going, it's sometimes better to work the muscles to the point of the burn. Just so that everything will just calm down, and it's just like everything just relaxes and lets go once you go to the burn. But stretching is definitely a good one. What kind of sleep issues are we dealing with you all?
I have none.
I'm
here to learn.
Good for you.
And I have none.
I have issues with getting up repeatedly through the night due to having a overactive bladder. And then when I do sleep, I only sleep for 4 hours and I get up, but those hours are interrupted because I'm getting up through the night to use the restroom. Well,
okay.
I'm tired during the day. I will fall asleep during the day and nap for a few hours. But you know, my my sleep rhythm is off. Because I need to be sleeping at night.
That could be
during the day.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely look into one of the herbal aids to help with that. But if it's if you're urinating repeatedly throughout the night, you might want to cut back on drinking in the evenings. You know, get your fluids consumed earlier in the day, so that you're not drinking so much fluid just before bedtime.
Oh, that's
And
something I need to work on as well. I'll try that.
yeah, it's amazing because we're relaxed in the evening, and during the day we forget to drink. I know it's my worst thing. I'll go up and I'll be really busy all day long, and I'll get to the evening and I've realized I maybe had one glass of water all day. I've just gotten too busy. So I've
Okay.
got to make it up. And I know when I do that, I'm going to be up all night. You
Mhm.
know, but my kidneys would be very upset with me if I didn't drink.
Okay.
So you just have to remember to drink during the day. A good kidney flush will also help with uh, getting the kidneys regulated so that they can produce during the day and not just when you lay down and relax at night. Sometimes what it is there's stress on the kidneys themselves. And so when you're up during the day, they're not producing so well. But when you lay down at night and the stress is off of them, then they start producing. And so doing your kidney flushing, supporting the kidney health would definitely make it so that your kidneys will produce better urine during the day and not just be producing at night when you lay down and you take the stress off of them.
Okay.
May I
All
make
right.
it another comment? With Catherine, and there is there's what's called flower essences, and Bach flower has a rescue remedy, and the rescue remedy I've been using for years. It's good for stress, shock. You can give it to your animals, your plants. It's a flower essence, so it's natural. And Bach flower remedies, there's like, I think, 32 basic ones, and they so that's also I'd like to offer for folks who are interested and curious in that. And you can find Bach flower information online, and if you have a natural health food store or an herbal store, you can usually find it there, and you can find the rescue remedy online in shops as well. But it's worth just having in your cupboard, and you can put it in your purse, in your backpack, whatever, and just put a few drops in a quarter cup of water and sip on it, and it works very nicely. So I just
Would
wanted
you
to offer that as a
repeat that name, please? Spell it for
Bach,
me.
Bach,
Bach.
Bach, like the musician,
Okay.
flower Bach flower essence.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dara? Hey, Dara,
Can't.
my
Yes.
late parents lived right next to a triple UP track from Chicago to Denver, and I can sleep anytime, 24 hours a day, just fall asleep. I sleep most nights. But I'm married to Catherine, who her whole life can't hardly sleep at all. You want me to get her over here to talk to you?
Yeah, I would love to hear what is going on with her.
She'll get on here now.
Okay.
I
I
can't.
have trouble falling asleep because
Hi.
my brain won't
Hi,
shut down.
Catherine.
And then I wake up lots of times in the night and have trouble getting back to sleep. So I'll wake up and maybe be awake for a couple hours in the middle of the night, several different times.
Okay. Do you have a history of childhood abuse and issues like that going on in your background?
No, not really.
Okay. Sometimes those can, and Dr. Jennings talks about that on the aging brain, which is the video that I put at the bottom of the class thing, that those can also contribute to insomnia issues when there's things like that. It sounds like your nerves are frayed. You've got frayed nerves. You need to rebuild the nerve tissue. You know, this has been going on for a long time, years and years. From what it sounds like, it's not just something that has just recently come up. It doesn't sound like it's associated with menopause or perimenopause or childbirth or anything. It's you've had these issues your whole life.
But probably started when I had kids and just continued.
Okay. All right. It could have been a hormonal imbalance that started then that you've never corrected.
Okay.
I would look towards just doing a good cleansing program, getting your hormones balanced. And are you through menopause? Well, yeah, you're through menopause and all that by now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just a hormonal food formula, something along that line to get those things balanced. And then do your liver flushing, your bowel cleansing, some kidney flushing, and just see where that takes you to. There are several formulas that also help rebuild the nerve tissue. The nerve regeneration formula is one that actually goes in and rebuilds nerve tissue. That may be something that would be helpful for you,
Okay.
being that it's been going on for so long.
Okay. Thank you.
Does any of that sound well, does it sound like something that would be helpful, or
Yes.
have you done detoxing programs before?
No, but that's one of the things on our to-do list.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would definitely suggest that you do some good detoxing. Just get your body cleared out. Do some liver flushing and all that, and just see what happens.
Okay.
You may be one of those that just find that you're going to sleep pretty good once you finally get that liver flushed out and get your hormones balanced.
That would be wonderful.
Yes. Yes, but it's going to take time. It's not going to just be like, boom, it's fixed. Your body has been allowed to be like this for years and years. And what I have seen is that when a condition has been allowed to remain in the body for an extended period of time, the body kind of hardens around the issues. It will begin to accept that as the status quo, and it will just kind of harden up around those issues. So you've almost got to chip away at your body wanting to maintain the status quo. So it's the adjustment, the cleansing and all that, and get it to where the status quo is changed.
So when you do, and maybe this is something we just need to talk to you on the phone, when you start doing cleansing things, I mean, what do you need to do first? Do you need to do a bowel cleanse first, or do you do the liver cleanse first?
No, you
what
always
order?
start with the bowel cleansing. The bowel cleansing, and the reason for that is the bowels are your biggest elimination organ. So getting the bowels open and working well is the first step to any healing program. If your bowels are not open and moving well, you cannot do a liver flush. You cannot do any of the other cleansing programs because you can't get the waste out. You'll just be reabsorbing the waste, and you'll just feel like you've been run over by a Mack truck.
Okay.
When the waste is reabsorbed. So the bowels, and once you get your bowels open and all that's moving, then it's just go for it. Whatever feels right, whatever your body can tolerate, liver flushing, kidney flushing, just make sure your bowels stay open and working well, and that you're boosting with echinacea. You've got to make sure that your immune system can deal with the die-off that you're creating. So the echinacea is very important for producing the immune cells, because you have to have an immune cell attached to each piece of waste that you are eliminating so it can neutralize it, so your liver and kidneys can pick it up and move it out. If you don't have immune cells enough to attach the waste and neutralize it, then you're going to reabsorb that waste.
Okay.
So that's where echinacea comes in, because it tells your body to make more immune cells so that you can deal with all the die-off. So echinacea, bowel cleansing, your food program, that's the foundational stuff where everyone starts.
Okay.
And then you can just add on the liver flushing, the kidney.
Okay. Thank you.
My dear. Let me know how you're doing.
We'll be calling you.
That was a
Thank
good
you.
question.
All right. Any other questions?
Dear,
We get money in it
Yes.
too.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I used to have a problem with insomnia, but the thing is, the insomnia didn't bother me. That was the problem. The only thing that concerned me was because I know that the body does its healing at night, but I didn't mind being up at night. It just bothered me in that area that I know I wouldn't get in the healing that I would need. But I started off. Early in my years, I used to be a children wear designer, and I had small kids. So the only time I can sleep, only time I actually can work was when they would sleep. So since they was up all day long, it was hard for me to work. So I just trained myself to be up at night to do my work because I could do my work, but my brain was more fresher at night for me because I didn't have to run around behind kids. So as I kept doing that, I graduated to a bridal gown designer, and I find that I can take care of my family in the daytime, but at nighttime I can create because the phone wasn't ringing, nobody was calling me, and I had attention nobody needs. So even after I got to designing with gowns, I found that I liked being up at night because it was quiet, it was peaceful, it was just like my time. So it didn't bother me being up at night. It's just I knew it wasn't good for my body. But lately, I say for the last couple of months, what I stopped doing was watching TV. When I turn off the TV, I start feeling like I was going to sleep, and I started getting up about 6 o'clock. So if I'm getting up between 6 and 7 o'clock, I'm out by 9 or 10 o'clock. And that's when I start sleeping through the night now because I don't watch the TV anymore at night.
Well, that is definitely a good way to go. We haven't had TV in our home. We watch old movies from time to time, but we have not had accessibility to television of any kind for probably 15, 20 years.
Oh, wow. No television?
We have television sets that we can watch. I have a collection of old movies, and
okay.
and we have a database of all movies and things. And then there's also learning movies and stuff. But as far as TV,
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was
actual
me, though. Then when I
watching.
watched TV, it was always movies. I got thousands of movies, too. So I just don't, like now, I just want to turn on the TV and watch a TV.
Yeah,
I might watch
we
on YouTube.
seldom we seldom watch movies or anything anymore. My husband and I, what we enjoy doing in the evening is listening to audiobooks, or we'll pick out a good history book or something and put that on. And I like to paint or embroidery or different things like that. And he works on his computer or doing whatever he's doing. And we listen to books, audiobooks. And that is very enjoyable. And we both tend to start dozing off sometime between 9 and 10 o'clock anymore. But I don't find programming on television anything that I would want to put in my brain.
So do you believe that our body is on a rhythm clock, a body clock? Because I heard that between,
it's
between
called
9
the
and 11.
circadian rhythm.
Yeah, like I think it's 1 to 3 for the liver. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is the liver. I think it's 9 to 11 is the gallbladder, something like that. I know I had the information years ago. And that's why the only thing that was concerning me, I wasn't sleeping because I wasn't allowing my body time to heal. And it was something you had said once before in the class that I found to be true now for me, was because I was never sleeping during those hours that the body should have been healing. That you said, like, I think at a certain time when the liver dumps into the colon in the morning, you should wake up and have a bowel movement. Since I go to bed at night, every morning I wake up with a bowel movement.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Yeah. So your body is correcting itself. It is coming around you. It's just going to take time for the habits of a lifetime to change, and for you to get comfortable with all this. In the meantime, I mean, if you need to use a little herbal supports to help you get to sleep, it sounds like you are sleeping well.
I'm sleeping good now.
Yeah. You just need to keep doing what works. Don't let yourself get sucked back into bad habits.
But now, when I was up at night, now I would sleep good in the daytime. Only thing with that was I would go to sleep in the daytime and I wake up about 4 o'clock only thing with that situation was I felt like I had slept my life away because when I wake up, it's about to get dark now. So that's the only
Yeah.
thing about that. But I'm glad that I switched. I feel better now in my body. Not that I didn't love being up before, but I feel better health-wise in my body now that I sleep at night.
Well, I will confess to you, I worked graveyard shifts for years. I was a supervisor at juvenile hall, and I worked the graveyard shift there. This was in Southern California. I also did nursing for quite a few years, and I always enjoyed the graveyard shift. And that was when it came to shift work, that's the shift I liked. I preferred that. And I definitely know what it's like to be in those habits. I mean, on my days off, my husband and I would go shopping at 2 and 3 in the morning when the stores are empty. And in Southern California, they're open all night. And it was just like the town was so quiet, and it was so nice to be out at those hours. I definitely get the nighttime, but it was very stressful on my system. And I don't do all night. I can slip into it real easy. Just letting myself slide into staying up all night. It's easy to do. I have to make a habit of saying, okay, I'm going to bed. And then when I get up early, and I do things in the morning that reward me for being up in the early morning hours. Where we go outside and we work in the yard, we're up at sunrise and outside working on the property, on the yard, and it's a couple hours that we get to spend together. So we cherish those morning hours now. And this isn't something we've always done. It's something that we are making a new habit.
Okay.
So just find something that makes it worthwhile to be up early in the morning. Any other comments or questions?
Yoga, Tai Chi, 5 Tibetan rites.
Can weight be a factor in having difficulty resting well at night?
Yes, definitely. One of the things that the weight does, and you were talking about having to be up and urinating throughout the night and all that.
Right,
when you're
right.
carrying a lot of weight, it's a stress on your kidneys because all that weight is bearing down on your kidneys.
Okay.
And they're not able to produce so well during the day. And I don't know if you know my backstory or Diane shared with you or whoever invited you. I recently lost 240 pounds, so I definitely know what it's like to be at the other end of that weight issue. And
congratulations.
It makes a lot of difference on your body being able to function well. Plus, you're just doing so much stress on your joints and on the rest of your body. It's very hard to get around and to be healthy when you're carrying all that extra weight.
Okay, thank you. And
Not a problem, my
congratulations
dear.
on your accomplishment.
There's a video on my YouTube channel which has the before and after pictures and all that.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It was a long journey. It did not just happen overnight. It was a lot of healing in that. The Lord had to bring me down and do a lot of emotional healing and a lot of emotional work. Overweight, obesity is not a disease of the fork, it's a disease of the heart. And that's emotional padding that you're wearing. And until you're ready just to, give it to the Lord, let him carry that weight. And then when the healing comes, you can give it up.